you just hit the little chat button and everything's just kind of right there as far as just
Yep, I'm looking right at it.
Okay.
All right, we should be on. We good.
Okay.
All right. I don't know if you want to get the ball rolling.
Oh, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
What's up, y'all?
Go ahead, get it rolling.
This is your boy Bobby Wright. I guess just first and foremost, I want to just say props to you and your wife, and shout out to you, respect to you for getting your gym opened up. Being a black business owner, everything like that. So I just want to say much respect to you for that. I got to obviously give people they props while they're here and they doing big things. So shout out to you for that.
Most definitely appreciate it.
What's the name of your gym, by the way?
It's gonna be called Almighty Fitness.
Okay.
That's kind of like a play off my Instagram name, Almighty Vegan. So I just cut the vegan out, put Almighty Fitness. That's gonna be the name of it. And right now I'm getting a new logo design, so I'm gonna have shirts and like blender bottles to sell to kind of raise profit for like the equipment and all that.
Absolutely. So yeah, hey man, anything you need, like I said, I love running my mouth. So if you want me to just tell everybody about it, or one of these days I'll definitely drive down. I think we're only a few hours away from each other. So
yeah, where you at again?
The town it's called Joliet. It's like about an hour from Chicago.
Yeah,
so
man,
we ain't really that far.
Yeah, I know where Joliet is.
Mm-hmm.
Is it
the distance? What's up?
Is it a college over there somewhere?
I think so. I mean, honestly, I just be mind my business. I've only been out here for I've been out here for 1 year. I'm from Iowa. I only been out here for a year, so I be out here mind my business, man.
Yeah, because that's where I went to school from. So a lot of people that was over there, they was from Joliet. So yeah, I know some people from over there. Mm-hmm. Just because going to school in Iowa, a lot of them came from little parts in Illinois and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's cool. So we could dive into it, man. Talking about the Black economic status here, man.
Yeah, just nothing against everybody. Obviously, everybody knows what's going on right now and the climate that we're in, everything like this. And no, it's nothing wrong with venting and finding an outlet to cope and talk about what's going on. I'm one of those people that does that. So obviously, there's nothing wrong with that. But beyond that, what's the next step after we talk about what's currently going on? What are we going to do? Because an oppressor or a bully, whatever you're going to call it, is not going to save you. Just like back in the school days, if you had your school bully, you couldn't expect the bully to just have a change of heart and help you. You got to help yourself. So my thing is, as Black people around the world, what are we going to do to help each other in a nonviolent way? In my opinion, I think we should still try our best to find some kind of nonviolent way. So my personal step in that direction is group economics and us supporting one another with these small Black businesses and things like this. So that's kind of where I'm at. So I guess I'll just kind of go into that. Yeah, just basically it's just as simple as just us, supporting one another, going online, just looking up different, Black owned businesses, doing what we can to donate and to buy off of these websites, or if you have any, Black owned brick and mortar stores and things like that around, definitely there's apps out here. Actually, one of my homeboys just sent me an app. Can you still see me?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay. Okay. There's an app. I'm on my phone. I'm just looking up.
Yeah,
it's called
S. Freezing now though. You froze.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you though.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So it's called SBO. It's called Support Black Owned. It's an app. So anybody, you got just go onto your app store or whatever. It's SBO Support Black Owned, and it just has a whole bunch of different Black owned businesses that you can kind of look up. Things like this. We need to just do what we can to try to connect with one another around the world, support one another. Our Black African brothers and sisters. The Caribbean, Black people over in the UK and wherever else, and things like this. Something that I started just a few days ago. I literally just spurred the moment. I decided, I'm like, you know what? I've never seen anybody make a thread online with just a list of Black-owned, websites. Yeah. I mean, it sounds simple, but I've never seen it. I was like, well, let me try it. Like maybe there's a reason why I've never seen it. Maybe it doesn't work. Maybe it does. If it don't work, I tried some. If it does work, it's there. But something I started. I'm right now focusing on Black women own businesses, because that's just my choice. You
Right.
know, nothing against us as men, obviously. You know, like I said, shout outs to you and your business. But
Yeah.
I got a whole thread. I think there's got to be close to probably 100 different websites that Black women have been plugging of their like from food to clothes to jewelry to to makeup for the ladies, obviously. And just, I mean, it's at the point now where I literally just I'm letting it just do its own thing. It's taken over its own thing, which is beautiful. People have been sharing it, and there's been now like separate shared threads, so it's taken on its own identity, its own roots. But
Right.
if you want, I can give you the link to it. You can put it in the description on your channel if you want. People can check it out. It's an open thread. So people, please, if you go on there, click on it, buy something. Please buy something. Just look through. I mean, there's dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of sites, and this is within a few days. So in my opinion, we got no excuse. You know, if you got a couple of dollars, we can do something. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'll let you, if you want to, say anything about that.
Yeah, most definitely. This is something I've been preaching since like 2010 when I first came into the knowledge. Like we talked about, man, Claude Anderson. I had read a few of his
Powernomics.
Yeah, back then. Like I got hip to him back then. I was watching YouTube videos and whatnot about the man back then, back in 2010. And I started to organize a group of people. Back then, I called it Knowledge Gang, because I was coming into the knowledge and I just wanted to assemble a group of brothers and sisters that had the same desire for that knowledge as I did. And I felt like from there, I wanted to basically create like a think tank. And within that think tank, that group economics, it came up. So I was like, man, we need to go ahead and rotate a dollar around. So we need to get a set amount that we kind of donate each week into this pot. And then once we build up a certain amount, then we can give it to this first person, and then they can invest it into their business or their idea, whatever the case may be. And we just keep rotating it like that. So that's the idea I had got from that. Obviously, I was out there in college, so we wasn't able to manifest it how I really wanted it to go and manifest. So I wish I would have stuck with that, honestly. But now I'm at the point now where we doing a lot. When I study our history, I try to look at kind of like where we went wrong. And I feel like we just too emotional as people. And I feel like that was our downfall back then, and it's our downfall today. We seeking acceptance from a people and a system that never liked us and never will.
It's not for us.
It's like a waste of time to hoop and holler to basically the devil, as I would say. Like, what are we expecting that devil to do? To change and become godly all of a sudden?
The devil's doing what the devil does, you know what I mean?
That's exactly. So you got to understand the nature of the beast. So I understand the nature of that beast. So I'm not wasting time chanting to that beast, because that beast is not going to change. Like, the only thing that I can do is realize my true nature and act according to that. And we done had our ancestors, they didn't let us know what our true nature is. And they didn't let us know the nature of this beast. So we can either run this beast off by dealing with our true nature, or we can continue to expect this beast to change by chanting at it. And that's not going to happen. No matter how many times you chant at that snake is to not be trusted. That snake is just waiting on the opportunity to bite you once again. So if anything, like, once we chant, like, this is my thing, and I've asked people the question. So let's say we do all this chanting. Let's say all the officers involved get locked up, get life, whatever the case may be. Now, what, are we satisfied? Because I'm not still satisfied. The educational system is still garbage. The healthcare industry, still garbage. Like, entertainment industry, still garbage. Like, all of that will still be garbage. And that system will still be garbage. They would just do that to pacify us and shut us up. Like, oh, they chanting at us. Let's go ahead and lock these cats up so they can stop hollering, hooping and hollering and looting, rioting and all that good stuff. So if they do anything, they only doing it to shut us up. So that's how I feel about the situation. So I will never trust this system no matter what they do. Like, I don't even care if those officers get locked up, killed, whatever the case may be. This system is still not for us. So I don't care. At the end of the day, I'm not even directing my energy towards them. They will not change. That's their nature. So we got to focus on building our own. And that's where my focus is at. It's ownership, and then supporting those owners. That's the only way we really going to create change. And then we got to, like, behind the scenes type deal, like they operate. Like, we focusing on the scene hands. It's people that's paying these police officers. It's people that's paying those initiators. We don't see them. They somewhere comfortable. It's hard to get in contact with them. It's hard to put our hands on them. We need to operate that same way. We announce a lot of our stuff too much in the open. So we need to do some covert operations ourselves. Like we need to have our own CIA, FBI, and things of that nature. Our own Bilderberg group, our own
Get together physically.
Yeah.
Turn the camera, turn the phones off, get together physically, you know, when you can, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, all of that. Like secrets is all that. We need our own of all of that. Like all of that. That's all beneficial. We all need it. It's nothing spooky about it. They got it from us anyway. When you go back to the Egyptian mystery schools, like that's all of that. So we need to
those great libraries, all that type of stuff. That's where a lot of those Greeks got their knowledge from.
Exactly.
You know?
So they took our way and they using it to enslave us when it's originally it's our way. So
that's crazy, ain't it?
Yeah, man, it's sick, man. It's sick. And we just need to go back from that because they studied us. That's all they did. Yeah. The reason why they on top right now is because they studied us. They studied our greatness. They see our greatness more than we see it in ourselves. So that's all they did. They studied us. They studied the
understand our life.
Yeah. Oh yeah, most definitely. They studied the original, man. That's all they did. That's all they did. And of course, they added their own little corrupt twist to some of the things that they studied and got from us. But at the end of the day, the root of it is they studied us. Like that's essentially what they did. And that's how they got on top. And they just manipulated us to where we can't even see our own greatness. So that's how they got us enslaved, psychological at this point.
Mm-hmm. Mental slavery. And I just want to say too, real quick, for anybody that's watching, when we're talking about a corrupt system or, you know, devils or whatever like that. Well, I'm gonna speak for myself. I want to speak for you because you're a grown man. But I'm talking about a spirit and a mindset. There's nothing about everybody of a certain race because I'm starting to see a lot of people that are non-black, whether it's white, Asian, or whatever. They're starting to see just how messed up this system is. Something that we as black people that are knowledgeable have been saying for forever. I'm starting to notice that a lot of some non-black people are starting to see just how corrupt the system is too. There's protests going around the world. People in Japan that probably hardly even know or speak English are protesting for Sandra Bland and George Floyd and everybody else like this. So people are starting to wake up across the world and across races. So this is not no attack on one specific race, but at the same time, we understand that white supremacy was created by white people, but classism was also created by white people. There's a lot of white folks that are screwed over by classism as well. So y'all need to wake up too. You know what I mean? But as black people, we need to focus on ourselves economically and health-wise because we have been put at the bottom, like you said, as far as our mindset and whatever else. So I just want to say that real quick. But if you had something to add to that, you can. Otherwise,
yeah, most definitely. Like I take the Garvey position on that. I'm always race first, so I'm always seeking to support my own first and foremost. So like if it's a product or anything that I can get from my own people first, I'm always trying to do that. So it's my priority, supporting my people first. Then everybody else after that. So it's like we gotta adopt that mentality. Like we really gotta adopt it. Like I see that amongst other communities. Like they striving to support themselves first and they people first. It's no knock on the other group of people.
Yeah, that's respectful. I respect that.
Yeah, gotta circulate that dollar amongst each other first. Then we seek outside of ourselves. Like we have to prioritize ourselves. Got to do that. Like that's like one of my solutions. We gotta prioritize ourselves. Like seriously, like we have really got to do that. Like if you just for instance, the gym, like if I'm in St. Louis and I'm looking to get my health and fitness intact. It's like, all right, let me seek out to see if there's any black folks that own some gyms. That's my first priority. If I don't like what I see amongst them black gyms, then I go outside of that. But it's like we need to prioritize one another first. And that's what I be striving to do. Like if I can get something from a brother or sister first, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna spend that money.
Exactly. Too many of us, and I get it's not me bashing us, but we have too many of us have Stockholm Syndrome.
Oh yeah.
Like that's really what that is. Once again, this is not me bashing our people. I get where it comes from. It's just symptoms of worldwide enslavement. Mm-hmm. It's not just black Americans that were enslaved. I mean, you had all types of colonization, slavery, all types of stuff. These are all forms of slavery that we've continued to go through. So we tend to always skip over ourselves and go right to somebody else. And like you were saying with our ancestors from the past and where they went wrong, something that I've always thought about as far as the civil rights movement with our brothers Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. I'm just gonna use those two as an example. I know a lot of us kind of look at Martin Luther King as somebody who was great, but a lot of us say like, oh, he kind of messed up with the whole integration thing. Woo. I don't, in my opinion, I don't think integration is a bad thing once you get your economic base up to par. And like you were saying, once you focus on your people first, and when you build your people up first, in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with collaborating with other groups of people. That's good. That's how you circulate and build up even more money, and you can spread. But you got to have something to collaborate with. How can I collaborate with a white Jewish person and I ain't even got $1 on me, but they got $1,000 on them? That doesn't make any sense. I got to get up to where I'm at least 900 or even more. But I'm at $2,000 and they got their $1,000. Now we can figure some. Now we can do business because I got my own, and we also need to protect our economic base. That's, in my opinion, that's where we messed up a lot with the Black Panthers and the civil rights movement. We didn't protect what we were building, or even going back to Black Wall Street. You know, we didn't have a defense to protect the Black Wall Streets and everything else like that. We understood the economic side of it with Black Wall Street. You know, we understood all these type of things, but we didn't have a defense. Malcolm X was the main one, as far as what I know, as far as, you know, out in the main, you know, scene, telling us that we need to defend ourselves. He didn't just mean just us, you know, fighting. He meant us protecting what we're building economically, or as far as us loving, you know, one another. All that, we got to protect that, because if we don't, then anybody can just come in, the FBI or whoever can just come in and easily mess that up. You see what I'm saying? So we had to build up and also protect as we're building. It's like a baby. It's like when you're raising a child. You want to protect and raise that child and build that baby up to be healthy and to be as strong as that baby can be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, most definitely. And that's why I say, like, when you study in history, we gotta take the best parts from like all our leaders and organizations. And I would say the protection aspect that you're speaking of, amongst all the groups that I've studied and I know, I would say the Nation of Islam has a pretty solid protection force. Like, if you try to get up on Farrakhan, it will not happen. It will not happen. So we need to take just kind of that approach on a massive scale, like collective scale, and we need to utilize that approach as far as like
pan-African scale.
Yeah.
You know, stop this light skin versus dark skin, or Black African versus Black American, or Black man versus, you know, Black woman, or even, you know, if you want to go into sexuality, like with the LGBT community, for the black LGBT community, and you know us heterosexual Black people, you know, we can have our differences when it comes to religion or all types of stuff. That's fine, but at the end of the day, what do we all have in common? Whether you agree with different lifestyles or not, whether you agree with different lifestyles or not, to me, that's besides the point. You know, as far as, you know, whether you agree with it, I'm not religious, but even if I was, what does that matter in the day? We're both Black men. We can come together. You know what I'm saying? Like my religion or non-religion shouldn't matter. You know, at the end of the day. So we got to stop this petty. Oh, well, that person's, you know, lighter than me, or this person. Oh, well, I don't want to support Black people in Nigeria. Like, why? Like that's your brother and sis. What are you talking about? Like that's emotional stuff. That's very childish.
That's the emotion that I'm talking about, and these are internal problems that I feel like we need to fix. And I'm glad you brought up the Nigeria example there, because I've had a lot. The common notion is like Africans don't like us here. Man, I know a bunch of like Africans. Man, I've had good relationships with some Nigerian brothers, like going back to college.
Some of the smartest people on the planet are Nigerians.
Yeah. And I've had some decent relationships and some decent encounters with these said Nigerians.
Me too.
And Senegalese folks, man. Like, I've had some good conversations, and I was even told, like, brother even told me, he was like, if you come to Nigeria, they would treat you like a king. That's what he told me.
Yeah. They want us to come back because one, that's our people, and two, we have, as Black Americans, we have a very, I'm not saying that we're better than anybody else or nothing like that, but we have a very special situation going on, because we are Americans. We might not be treated like it, but we have the American dollar. So if we could collaborate with the American dollar in countries like Ghana or Nigeria or wherever, you know, the American dollar, even though it is plummeting, but it is still, as of right now, it is still stronger than a lot of these African countries' dollars. So imagine if as Black Americans if we pull some of that money over. You know, that kind of slides me over to that one photo that I sent you. We can kind of talk about that too, as far as, you know, how the Black American dollar only circulates for like a day and a half before it leaves. You know, but we have. I mean, let me look real quick. I'm not sure it's going to freeze or not. I just kind of want to slide into that real quick. Just a little segment for. Let me see where's that. I don't know if I'm frozen or not, but basically, just I kind of want to read. I just kind of want to read some of this real quick. Let me see. Where was I at? Okay, real quick. It says down here. This is from like 2016, I guess, but I mean the point still is the same. Because Black-owned businesses employed over 1 million people and generated over 104 billion in sales in 2016, right? And then it says the next bullet says the Black community accounted for a combined 1.2 trillion in consumer spending. So this is how much we spend on everybody else. This is 2017, and it says the amount is projected to reach 1.5 trillion by next year. And this is us giving our money away to everybody else. We have 1.2. There's whole countries that don't have that much money. Yeah. Like we literally could have our own country. Like as far as like financially wise, but we're not all of us, but you know, we as just a people, we're too busy buying Nike shoes and weave too much. You know what I'm saying? No offense to anybody that's a shoe head or that, you know, wants to do whatever with their hair. This isn't, you know, no personal stuff. I'm just talking facts and stats. You know, that's ridiculous to me that year after year we spend over $1 trillion a year on everybody else but us. That is ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like that's something I'm not gonna blame white people for that. I'm like, you can say what you want. It's not me defending white people, but come on, man, we grown.
I'm done pointing the finger at that guy, at the man. I'm done.
I'm 30 years old, man. Ain't no white person telling me where's to spend my money.
Man, I'm too powerful, man. We too powerful as a people. I'm not about to keep pointing fingers at the man. Like I know his role. I know what he's capable of. I know his true nature. I'm good. Other than that, like that's all.
But what's our role?
Yeah,
that's the thing. Exactly. And shout out to Robert Perkins. I know you know who Robert Perkins is. I was talking to him yesterday. He literally said that. I was talking to him about, this is kind of a little side thing. Like we were saying, we're gonna start kind of, you know, go off topic a little bit, but just yesterday, you know, with the protests going on, there was this group of all white people, right? They were out protesting for police brutality, Black Lives Matter. Cool, right? But I drove by. I was in the middle doing some errands. I drove by. I see this white boy that's protesting, but he's laying down with his hands on his back. I'm like, what the fuck? And one of the other white boys had his knee in the dude's neck. I'm like, yo. So I like slowed down, my window down. I'm like, yo, what are y'all doing? And they couldn't quite hear me because I'm in my car. So I went and pulled over. I parked. I walked out. I started talking to him. I'm like, look, I'm not mad because you know, because we all gotta be angry Black men and women. Yeah. I'm like, look, I'm not upset. I'm really just trying to understand. So can y'all tell me what is the reason for this? I pointed at them. They're like, oh, we're doing this for you, for the protest, for, you know, for your life. I'm like, look, I appreciate the protest, but why? What is the reason for this part? Oh, they're like, oh, we want to show people. I'm like, no, the whole world knows what happened. You ain't gotta, don't do that. Is disrespectful.
Yeah.
Right. And I was telling Rob that, and he's like, look, man, that once again talking about a mentality, not a whole every single person in the race. But Rob was like, yeah, that meant the people of that mentality, they're just being who they've always been. And he said, but who are we? It's a simple question, but it's not. It's kind of a deep question too. Who are we? They've been showing us who they are, as they as in, you know, that mindset. So who are we? What are we gonna do?
And that's the first question. Like a lot of people come to me for advice. That's one of the first questions I ask them, because I deal with knowledge itself. So I ask you, who are you? I mean, like you said, it's a simple question, but most people cannot answer that question. And then just to piggyback from the economic conversation that we was just having, just talking about that black dollar, it's this common misconception that as a people, like we are broke. Like we just disproved that. Like we got the money. Yeah. We got it.
It's about discipline and knowledge of what to do with the money.
Yeah, exactly. And just like you mentioned, Nikes, like my brother, like Master P created his own shoe brand. And I mean, just how many people are supporting that?
LeVar Ball.
Yeah, we was making fun of, oh, that's too expensive, this, that, and the third. I'm like, man, we got to start somewhere. We got to generate the profit. We'll go spend that on Louis Vuitton and all these expensive brands. Other those expensive brands.
As hell.
But then when Master P and the Big Baller brand come out, we say, oh, that's too expensive. I ain't buying that. Like, come on, man. Yeah, we
but
can't.
you see, Japanese people and other groups of Asian people, white folks around the world, when their people, once again, this is me saying this out of respect, when they are trying to come up, they make sure to support their own people. They ain't clowning it as a group. They're not clowning on their own people. Like, I got white friends. Like, I got friends who have started their own businesses, their own restaurants, stuff like this. And I've seen how fast and how successful they become. And this is not me dissing them, nothing like that. Like, I'm happy for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, like that. And I see this, but I'm thinking about our people, and we have $1.2 trillion. I'm like, yo, wait a minute. It's like, come on, man. Like, we,
trillion.
Yeah.
I mean, just if we just supported ourselves, like, we'll be good. We all we need. We don't even need anybody on the outside. That 1.2 trillion is all we need. We don't even need anybody on the outside, but yet we constantly feel like we do. Just that 1.2 trillion is all we need.
Yeah, go look up the economic base of some of these small countries. They don't have that much. Some of them, you know what I'm saying? These like second world type countries, or some of these, like, not saying like a United States level, but we don't even necessarily need that to start off. Just something, just a solid base. And then once we have that base, we can collaborate as far as, okay, so what can we do with that, as far as creating hospitals and schools and whatever, health gyms, all that kind of type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, because we got to take that stuff into, like I made that post on Facebook talking about like homeschooling the children. I mean, we got to start somewhere. We got to really stop relying on this system to like educate our children. To me, that's almost like step number one, man. Because from an early age, they are indoctrinated with misinformation.
It's mental suicide. That's why about 4 years ago, I decided to start mentoring Black boys in like the Big Brother Big Sisters program, like Black teenage boys and stuff like that, and trying to help them, and just to know who they are a little bit, you know what I mean, and just teach them about the history and just what they can do, because that's the next generation coming up. These post millennials, you know what I'm saying. So we gotta do something. Like, I don't have children, but that doesn't mean I can't do what I can and be a mentor and a role model as best I can. Like, I'm still learning too. I'm still a young man. But the knowledge that I do have, I know some 15-year-old Black child may not know none of that, because their parents probably didn't know.
Right. It take a village, man. It take a village to raise that child, they say. So we part of the village. And that's another thing. We got to have that village mentality. Like, it takes a village to raise that child. Like, we got to understand that, get back to our roots and deal with that village mentality, man. Like, it's a bunch of fatherless children out here. So a lot of us Black men got to step up to the plate, man. We got to start looking out for these kids, man, because a lot of them are fatherless. So
even the ones that go ahead. Sorry, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just like, people like me and you, we got to step up to that, man. It's a lot of brothers just younger than me that be looking up to me, and I'll make sure I try to give them proper guidance as much as possible, because I know that they may not have that father figure in their life. So it's like they looking up to me for a reason. So I can't let them down.
And even some of us, some of these younger boys and girls that do have a man in the home, in my opinion, some of them are still fatherless, because that man don't know nothing. So he's showing them the wrong way. So so some, I'm not saying everybody, because on the flip side, there are a lot of great Black fathers. In fact, there's been studies shown that Black men in America are actually the best fathers overall. So don't get it twisted. But we're talking about those of us who have dropped the ball. You know what I mean? So even the men that are around, the Black men that are around, some of them are teaching our Black boys and girls the wrong way. So that, in my opinion, that's just as bad as being, maybe even worse than not having the father physically there at all. You know what I'm saying?
You corrupting them. Yeah, it's even worse.
You might as well just not even be there then.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I see. You might as well go ghost. If you about to stick around and you about to teach them the wrong way, lead them in the wrong direction, you might as well just be gone at that point.
But I see we're about like the halfway mark. So if you want to flip to fitness, I'll let you go ahead and go, because that's your forte. The economics thing, that's kind of, I guess, both of our thing. But the fitness, health, food, exercising,
business management. That's my degree. So I talk about everything, man.
So we got about a half an hour left. So go ahead. I'll try to chime in if I can, but I'm gonna be humble right now. I'm gonna let you do.
We keep going. I mean, like, if you got any questions as far as like the fitness aspects of things. Like, I don't know if you got something that's on your mind that you probably want to ask me to get me going. You know, if it's something that you got, like a question or something.
Well, I guess a question for me and anybody listening, what's a good place to start? Or where did you start? Like, as far as just the whole fitness, just all that. Like, where did you start? Where would you recommend somebody start who is just lost and don't know where to start as far as what to eat, how to eat, as far as like, lifting weights and exercising and meditating, just all of that. Like, what should be the first? Yeah.
Well, basically, that's kind of just been my foundation, because I've been an athlete for as long as I can remember. So as far as like just working out and exercise, and that's something that I've been doing since I can remember, like since I was walking. So that's one thing I definitely recommend. As far as
I ran before I walked, my mom told me.
I was flipping out of the baby pen, man. I was active, man.
Yep.
But yeah, that's definitely something I recommend. You start with your children early. Get them in an extracurriculum activity. I mean, you got to promote like exercise and fitness at a young and early age. So, I mean, get them in something. I would prefer like a martial art or something, or suggest a martial art, like self-defense. Like, get them in something early, because I wanted to learn karate. Like, I mean, every year I was just like, come on, I need to take a karate class. I got into one, but I was like too old. So I took that class for like one day. But I would definitely suggest that you start off early, getting them active early. Do not let them develop that lazy habit early. Put them in an extracurricular activity that promotes movement, exercise, that unity, because that's what you learn from like teamwork and stuff like that, being a part of a team. You learn how to work with other people, that unity, that brotherhood. That's what sports got to me, man. I got some people to this day I consider my brother simply because of our relationship athletically. So definitely get them in something like that early. Now, what got me started as far as like nutrition and things of that nature, I said this in a prior video, and it was two things. I watched the Slaughterhouse video, and I definitely, if you, you got to have a strong stomach to watch a Slaughterhouse video. I watched one and I saw, it wasn't more so kind of like how the animals were slaughtered and prepared and things of that nature, but it was the condition of the slaughterhouse. I mean, the slaughterhouse was filthy, man, filthy. I mean, feces everywhere, man. It was just unsanitary. It was just disgusting. And this is the meat that we are consuming. So once I saw that, I said, no, I'm good. And then 2, I read the book, How to Eat to Live, Volume 2. I don't know why I read Volume 2 before Volume 1, but by Elijah Muhammad. And when he broke down meat and things of that nature in that book, I was like, there we go. So those were like the 2 things that got me started from a nutritional standpoint. From the moment I saw that Slaughterhouse video and then I read Elijah Muhammad's book, I was vegetarian off the rip. Those 2 things, soon as that happened, soon as I saw that video and read that book, it was a wrap. I was good to go. And as far as veganism goes, like that was just me educating myself a little more fully on the subject matter, because I kind of went into it blindly. I read that book, saw the video, and was like, I'm jumping in. So I really didn't do my entire due diligence like I should have before I made the plunge. So veganism just came from me further studying. And I was like, all right, the math is adding up. So it was like, if you eliminate dairy and meat, your chances of suffering from this ailment is a lot less, opposed to being like vegetarian and eat meat and things of that nature. So all the science and math was adding up. So that's why I made the transition to veganism. And I definitely recommend everybody strive to go plant-based. So that's definitely something that I promote, especially amongst my own community. We need to do that. I mean, the science is out there. The statistics are out there. And the way I would recommend doing it, gradually. Like, don't be extreme like I was, man. Don't watch the video, then read the book and be like, all right, I'm done. Boom. Because you will suffer and you'll probably end up going back to eat meat. I was more resilient. Like, you're going to get sick. It's like a lot of negative things that's going to happen to you when you make the transition. So a lot of that will deter people from doing it, and they'll revert back to eating meat. But I was more resilient because I knew I wasn't going back to it. So for the average person, I recommend gradually doing it. So just dropping a bad product a month or something. So it's like, all right, this month I'm eliminating pork. Next month I'm eliminating the red meat. Then the next month I'm eliminating the chicken. Then the next month the turkey, so forth and so on, until you get to where you completely plant-based. And then you have to just incorporate fasting into your regimen as well, because that will also help like eliminate addictions to certain foods. Because for the most part, a lot of these foods, we can't drop them because we are addicted to them because of the additives and things of that nature that they put in the food. So we got to break sugar. Yes, yeah, indeed. So we got to break the addictions. So the best way to do that is by fasting. So you want to incorporate fasting like each month, like 2 or 3 days out of the month where you fast. So that'll help break the addiction. So I definitely recommend gradually easing into a plant-based lifestyle and then just embracing the concept of fasting. You do those two things, you'll be good to roll. But the overall objective should be to go plant-based. Like at least 95%. Like that is going to save our lives. I mean, when we just talking about stats, like heart disease is the #1 killer of people in this country. They kill over 600,000 last time I checked people a year. And that's just heart disease. I didn't even get into diabetes. I didn't even get into what high blood pressure can do, leading to all those strokes and cancers and things of that nature. Just heart disease alone kills over 600,000 people. And that can easily be prevented through what we eat, through the lifestyle change, like the lifestyle changes that we choose to adopt and adapt to. So it can be easily preventable. So a lot of us are like willingly eating ourselves to an early grave. And I don't like that. Like, I don't like that at all. Like, we got to be accountable for that.
Hey, like I said, I'm gonna be humble. I'm gonna be quiet on that one. But everything you said to me made sense. So yeah, just it's about, to me, basically what you were saying. If you want to break down something to a word, it's about self, or 2 words, I guess. Self-discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Really.
Yeah,
Whatever. Yeah. Go ahead.
That's I mean, that is what it is. And a lot of times, because I'm a fair person, so a lot of it's self-discipline, but I understand too, because if you'd have been eating a certain type of way for 30 or 40 years, I'd be a fool to act like the food, like I just said, the foods that we eat, they put stuff in this food to create an addiction. So I'd be a fool to act like it's just real simple to be like, all right, so now you know not to eat this, you should just be able to stop. It's almost like that person that's smoking. Like, I don't expect that person to just cold turkey it overnight. And a lot of times the people that smoke, like, they know smoking is bad, but it's an addiction. So that's psychological at this point. So a lot of us, we had that relationship with food. So it's not necessarily that simple, because it's a lot of factors in play. But it's like we gotta be disciplined. We gotta have that willpower, and we gotta have that strength. But I do understand that it's a process, man, and it's difficult, because if you've been eating bad foods for 40 years, like, why should I expect you to just change off of the strength of me telling you the way that you used to eating is bad? Like, you got 40 years in the game of eating this meat, eating this cheese, drinking this milk, and things of that nature. You got 40 years in the game doing that. So you kind of stuck in your ways at that point. It's habits. So it's a behavior aspect. So I got to get you to change your habit. And that's complicated. So we got to develop better habits as people.
Yeah, man, this is definitely a turtle race, man. You got to just, but as long as you stay steady and you keep going that direction, I think because we're in the social media age, we think everything's going to happen like this, or you can see, you know what I mean? We think it's going to happen quick, but it's a process. Like you were saying, like, you're at least fair to know, okay, if you've been dealing with this lifestyle for whatever how long, it's not going to just, you can't just flip on a switch and then the next day you're doing it, whether it's veganism, whether it's group economic, whatever it is, just whatever it is that you're trying to work on. It's going to take some time, and that is very fair, but as long as you keep going that direction, you keep trying, even if you slip a little bit, just know, okay, so Monday I kind of messed up that when I got some chicken. Okay, all right, so what I'm gonna do tomorrow, or the next day or whatever like that, I'm gonna kind of double it up and make sure I'm just doing this, or something. But we got to just stay constant, or try to find people around you, and have a group or some kind of circle around you, physically or online through social media, to kind of talk to and collaborate with for whatever it is, whether it's fitness or whatever is that you in your life that you're trying to better yourself in. Maybe you want to read more books every so often, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? You just stay steady. That's what I'm on. I'm trying to read more. I've been rereading some books that I have and things like this, just to kind of refresh myself, because I don't want to be saying something and not know what I'm talking about. I might forget, one aspect of this thing, and I'm saying it wrong. And I'm telling somebody something, and now I go back and read, like, oh dang, what I meant was, now I got, what I'm saying. So it's all about being humble, staying disciplined. In my opinion, being humble, staying disciplined, being militant, and it's about love too. But self-love, and us loving ourselves, everything like this, because we're not gonna stop racist people from being racist. They're doing what they do. You know, there's no, in my opinion, there's no benefit for a racist person in a racist system to stop being racist. So what we got to do is to help one another, help yourself and get to a better state, so that way you can teach the next person what you learn. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa, and stay humble, because you know you might have just gotten on to some kind of knowledge or some kind of gain yesterday. So how can you judge your fellow man and woman for not knowing about Marcus Garvey or whatever it is? You know, just tell them that, oh, what, you don't know what Pan Africanism is. Oh, I can't talk to you. It's like, what, man, you just found that out 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, 10
You
minutes.
just found that out last year. What are you talking, like, you know what I mean? Like, you were that same person last year. So now, but you know, now you can be that person for the next man and woman and help them. You know, and if they got children, then they can take that, and you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a domino effect. But we gotta stay humble, and we gotta check our egos as men and women, because that's something else too. Talking about emotions is our egos too. And that's people in general. I'm just speaking on us because it's black first. Our egos too. We got to get out of this thing of like, oh well, you know, he or she got to figure it out. I figured it out on my own, so now they got to figure it out. Okay, just because you figured out this, that, and the third on your own doesn't mean you can't help, you know, somebody else get, you know, to where they need to get to. So that's just my 2 cents on what you said.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah, the ego is a big problem in our community. It most definitely is, man. Because just me having conversations about health with people, and the ego is big amongst, like, just like, for instance, when I'm trying to talk to my brothers about like fitness, you know, I'm a personal trainer. So when I try to give them like advice on certain ways to lift and certain exercises to do, it's like, man, why are you talking to me? I know what I'm doing. Like, dudes don't like to be told what to do by another dude in the gym. So it's like, man, come on, man. Like, this is what I do. Like, this is my profession. Like, why would you not listen to the expert? I mean, it was a brother that I was dealing with, man. He had like his knee was bothering, like big time knee issues. And he was doing a movement that I know for a fact in my head contributes to knee problems. So I simply told the brother, I said, man, hey, if you've been complaining about your knee, you might not want to do that. Brother met me with all type of resistance. It was like I was like I had talked about his mama or something, man. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to look out for you. You just came to me about a knee problem. This movement that you are doing causes further damage to the knee. Stop doing that movement. Save your knee. You don't have to go through that. But it's like, man, his ego wouldn't let him listen to me. So he's still out there damaging his knee because he didn't want to listen to me. Another man telling him what to do in the gym. So it's that pride and that ego, man. You got to let that go. I mean, that's one of my good qualities. A lot of people have told me I'm coachable because I listen, man. I'm always soaking up game, man. I don't act like I know it all at all. Like, if anything, I know that I don't know anything.
That's people that are smart know that they don't know nothing, because there's always something else to learn.
The more that I learn, the more that I realize I don't know, and the more that I realize I need to learn. Like, it's just that simple. So when people talking and I feel like they know what they talking about, I'm listening. I'm all ears. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I'm taking it all in, soaking it all in like a sponge, they say. But it's a lot of brothers that do not do that. And the reason why I'm focusing so heavy on the brothers is because I just want to emphasize that, man, we got to really build. Like, it's going to start with us at the end of the day. Like, we really got to come together and we got to really connect. Like, our relationships got to be stronger than ever. Like the brothers, we have really got to just keep uniting, and we just got to keep spreading that positive energy amongst each other. Like, we got to stop side-eyeing each other. So that's why I focus a lot on my brothers, man, because, I mean, it's a lot of us out here that support one another, but the disconnect is also there too because of that pride and that ego. So we got to drop that when dealing with each other. Like, for real, it's just got to be all love amongst each other. And that's one thing. That's one reason why I like to focus on my brothers, man. We just got to have that love amongst each other. Like, nothing wrong with loving each other, man, as men.
Absolutely not. As far as us having respect and everything like that, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like, just like I love my sisters out here, man. I love my black men too.
Yeah, we got to. I mean, it's our people, you know.
Yeah, I love seeing my brothers out here shining, man. I love it, man.
That's why the first thing I said to you was what, when we started this stream, I gave you your props. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna sit and be like, oh well, fuck that nigga, like, or you know, trying to be like, oh, some hater shit because, you know, I don't know if you cussing on the video or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm like, oh, but fuck that nigga, like, well, who he think he is? Oh, he got a little building and all. That's something else. Telling us, we always call our stuff little. Oh, look at him, he got his little restaurant. He got his little gym. Like, why does it gotta be little? Like, what is that?
Yeah,
what does that mean? What you mean it's little?
Yeah, definitely got to figure out the science behind that, because they do say that.
Ain't nothing little about having your own business at all.
Yeah,
That's a big move.
yeah. Hey, you gotta start somewhere. So at the end of the day, it's a start, it's a beginning. So that's all
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
worried about.
I don't care if it's a website or if it's a brick and mortar or whatever, which we could kind of get in that in a second. But unless you have something else you want to say real quick, I wanted just to ask you one more question. But
Nah, like I said, all my people out there, plant-based, veganism, got to do it. No excuse. I mean, like I said, heart disease killing over 600,000 people. That's revolving around lifestyle choices. We got to make better choices. We got to be around. What's all this fighting worth if we can't even stay alive? We suffering. What's all this fighting worth if you don't have
we
your
out of breath. We out
yeah,
of breath right away, or something.
yeah, we out here trying to fight. We out here trying to talk. We talking military and we out here trying to go to war and we can't last past a day because we out of breath, no stamina, no endurance, no strength. Like, nah, we got to get in shape. We got to get our minds and our bodies right. Like, period. It ain't worth fighting if we ain't in shape.
That's
So
a
that's
fact.
just what I want to say on that. Like, that's crucial.
And to just keep continue with that, my last question about health, because you're talking about physical health. So what is your opinion on mental health and the importance of that part?
Man, I can speak on that from like experience. I mean, just like recently, I've been dealing with a lot of stuff just in my life that I've had like that just kind of caught me completely off guard. That is just kind of like damaged like my mental health, like just losing my grandmother and stuff like that. Like that's some stuff I really wasn't expecting. So I can,
That might be close one
oh
too.
yeah, no, I appreciate it. So I can
Yeah,
like just for me
mine are
analyzing
all gone.
myself as a black man, but as a black man, I realized that like I've been neglecting just kind of like my mental health, my brain health. And
Yeah,
I realize that that's big amongst us, man. We are taught to hold a lot of stuff in because we got to be men at the end of the day. Like we can't be vulnerable, we can't be emotional and things of that nature. So I realized like that's how I was kind of brought up. So when that situation happened, I was forcing myself to pretty much be strong because I was watching everybody else around me break down. So I didn't break
right.
down. It was me and my brother. We were like the only two that didn't break down. And that just comes from our upbringing. So it was like, man, I really didn't know how to deal with that passion because I always been taught to just hold it in, be strong. So the way that I would release a lot of stuff is through like anger and frustration because I really didn't know how to be emotional sometimes. I didn't know how to cry like I did back then, but it was like you would get, man, don't be crying, don't be doing that, man, don't do this, that, and the third. So like a lot of times my release would come through frustration and anger. That'd be the way that I cry. So I realized at that point, like my mental health is something I neglected. And that's something that you really gotta, man, you gotta take accountability for that. Like you gotta do things like meditate. One of my favorite things to do is journal. Like I don't care how it sounds. Like I keep a diary with me, man. You gotta jot your thoughts down. Like that is crucial. I think that's
Yeah.
probably the most.
I do the same thing, bro. That's crazy you said
Yeah,
that.
that's the biggest thing that has helped me. Like people talk about meditation helping them. Like I think
Like,
journaling for me is like the biggest thing. Like that's if I don't write down my thoughts, like I feel scattered brain, man. I just feel bad. So I have got to like write my thoughts down. Like that is one of the most helpful things that I can recommend. So it's like just meditating, breathing exercises. And I'm going to do like some videos on just how to properly breathe and things of that nature. But breathing, embracing the breathing. Like how many times do we truly get up and embrace the fact that we are breathing? Like, how
right.
many times do we do that? You wasn't
That's something
guaranteed.
I
Like,
gotta work on myself.
yeah, when you woke up this morning, it wasn't no guarantee that you was going to do that. So when you get up, it's like, man, I'm breathing. Focus on that. Embrace that because that didn't have to happen. It doesn't have to happen an hour from now. So we should always embrace that. Like that's something that we sleep on. Like it's a bunch of underrated aspects of life that we overlook. Instead, we look to complain about like minor things, man. Embrace the bigger factor. You are
You
alive.
woke up today.
Yeah, you got the ability to change.
Right.
So I mean, come on, man. Every time somebody come to me with some complaints, I'm like, man, it's somebody doing a lot worse than you. And I can go pinpoint them people, man. We could look up whole countries of children just dying of all type of diseases. I'm like, it don't get worse than that. You 30, 35, and you talking about you hate your job.
Right.
When it's a kid over here dying of something they didn't ask to have. So nah, I'm good. Like I'm good. Like that complaining, that's one thing. I mean, that contributes heavy to the mental health. And that's why like I read a lot of like business books. And one of the main things that they push is for you basically to kind of do what you love. So that's why corporate America wasn't conducive to my mental health. That's why I had to get up out the game. Some people can operate and function in corporate America and be fine. I couldn't. It was destroying my mental health. That was like the common denominator. I realized a lot of my unhappiness, my frustration and anger revolved around me having to work for corporate America because I knew I was more powerful than that. Like, I feel like I'm smarter than these people that's employing me and that are over me. I didn't like that. I'm like, nah, man, there's people that own this institution that I'm working for that I feel like I'm more valuable than. I know my worth. And like 50 Cent said, know your worth and add tax. So I said, all right, that's what I'm gonna do. I gotta take power into my own hands. Like, that's the only way that I'm gonna look out for my mental health, because if I continue to place myself in an environment that's not conducive to my mental health, it's self-destruction just waiting to happen. So I always advise people to just do what you love. Follow that passion, follow that interest, follow it, whatever it is that you love, do that. You have got to be doing something to earn your living that you enjoy doing. That's crucial to mental health. Very crucial. So I would say meditation, man, just embracing life, journaling, and just doing something that you enjoy doing something that you love to earn your living. Those are three crucial aspects to like mental health. We got to focus on them, along with, of course, eating and things of that nature.
Hey, absolutely. And then even just kind of piggyback off of that, like you said, like, you know, writing is something that I've been doing for a while, just as a passion, but also, yeah, like you said, as far as mental health, something that I've also started doing over the last few years, something called grounding. I'm sure you probably heard of that before.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, grounding, it sounds kind of crazy if you've never done it, but basically, there's different ways to do it. But just as an example, basically, you know, putting your feet on literally like grass or dirt, soil, just in literally the ground, like you're a plant, like either just on the surface, or if you can kind of get in like to, you know, the dirt a little bit, like you're a plant, and just sit and just either in silence, or I think you can do it with music too, and just kind of meditate, but let the earth kind of flow through you. It sounds crazy if you're not into that type of stuff, but it's real. Like the earth has its own, I don't want to say spirit, but you probably understand what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Like grounding. Look it up for those that don't know, because there's a lot of people out there that are probably a little more knowledgeable that can explain it better. But just look up grounding. I'm giving you at least the word to look up. Anybody watching this is online, so there's no excuse to do research. If I'm saying something to you, I shouldn't have to break down the whole thing. Look it up. Grounding. You know, you plant your feet in the ground. It's simple. It's a form of meditation. Something else that I also do for me, I have to listen to music every day. I'm a huge music person. So what I do as far as trying to stay physically active, I try to walk every day for a couple hours every day, and I'll put my headphones on, and I'll just block out the world for a couple hours. I'll just walk around. Like, I won't even really think about where I'm going. I'll let the music kind of guide me, and just walk around. And like that helps me. Everybody's different, but those are things that help me. So I wanted just to kind of throw that in there.
I'm glad you mentioned music. And then too, with the grounding, we dealing with physics and science at that point, like the magnetic field, like our connection to that, like as above, so below, macroscopic, microscopic. Like, hey, the universe is us, so we connected, and that's our connection right there. That grounding is just
dark matter.
Yeah, it's like plugging in something into the socket. That's all you're doing. That's all you're doing when you go out there.
You're charging yourself. We have electrons in our body. Like we're not machines, but we are. Like, that's why machines are based off of the human body. If you look at like a car or something like that, and you got the engine, you got or better yet, a computer. You got the CPU, you got the GPU, you got the different chips, all these different things. It's the same thing with us. It's just that we're made out of, you know, tissue and stuff. But we have electrons going through our brain, all this type of stuff. And where did life come out of? The earth. So you don't think there's some kind of connection with life, not even just humans, but just creatures, or not creatures, trying to say like walks of life and earth. Like, we came out of earth. So of course, if you reconnect, or you said if you plug back in and charge back into the earth, and you really let the earth do what it's supposed to do naturally, it's gonna work. You know, in music, vibrations, we're very musical people. We actually, one of the ways that we have survived in this country is from music. So that's very important. Our ancestors, in my opinion, can talk to us through music, whether it's hip hop, whatever genre you like. Damn near every music genre in America was made by Black people. A lot of music around the world has either been influenced or made by Black people. We have a different connection with music and different kinds of frequencies. We do. I'm not saying that we're better than anybody else. I'm saying that we're different.
Yeah, you know. I mean, hey, at the end of the day, it is what it is. And like I said, it's I mean, I can make this comparison. It's just like your phone. Like when that phone is low, you got what you got to do. You got to charge that phone up, charging that battery. That's all that grounding is doing, is charging that battery. So it's like when you feeling real low, go outside, charge that battery. That's all that you're doing. Like it's just that simple. That's an analogy for the people right there. It's just charging that battery up. And then with music, man, I'm glad you mentioned that, because back in the day when I was doing music, rapping and poetry and all that, man, that was really like conducive to like my mental health and things of that nature. So that's why I said I might get back into writing like poetry. But it's like like you mentioned Tupac in the beginning, like that dude then got me through a lot in life, man. Just his music. Like I done actually made it my objective to listen to my favorite album from him like every day now, because that's been actually helping me through this whole ordeal that I'm going through right now. Like from the stuff with my grandmother, and then to me getting this gym and all that, just the motivation I done had, like his Me Against the World album. That's all I'm
to you,
man.
Like, yes, it's like you probably feel like he's talking to you. You know what I mean? You feel like, dang, like you feel like this is relevant right now.
Man,
you know what I mean?
It's crazy. It's like we having a conversation through this album. I'm like, man, it's like when he's saying something, I'm like, man, that's straight up how I feel. Straight up how I feel. So it's like me and Tupac having a dialogue. But I make sure that I'm listening to some part of that CD every day. Like music is definitely a game changer. Yep. And Nipsey Hussle, most definitely. Like those are the two that I've been listening to, along with like Dead Prez. Those are like my three. Like, I mean, they done got me through a lot of this, man. It's like a lot of the moves I'm making just based off of Tupac and Nipsey, just the music. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, a lot of the motivation has been behind that music from them two guys. Like, straight up, man. Music is a big part of it. I don't know how I left that out, to be honest with you, but that's a big part. Yeah, I was tripping.
Good thing I'm here then. So see, collaboration, man. That's what it's about. See.
Yeah, most definitely. Music is big, man. And then I just been getting into like jazz and all that now. So that's
man, that's crazy. Literally right before you said that, in my brain, I was thinking like, man, I should say something about jazz music.
Man,
never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got a cousin that know all about the jazz, man. He been putting me on a lot of jazz artists, man. I've been rolling, man.
Hey, man, holler at me, man. I love jazz music.
Oh, so, man. Holler at me, brother. Yeah, most definitely. I'm new to it, but I'm on it now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's probably one of the most important. My favorite music genre is hip hop, but I think the most important music genre, in my opinion, is jazz music.
Oh yeah,
like jazz fits. That's why jazz can fit any music genre. That's why you got like jazz fusion and progressive jazz. You got classic jazz music. You got ragtime, which was the precursor to jazz. Like I could go into it.
What's crazy, yeah, man. When I was in Iowa, I took a course, a jazz appreciation course. So I actually took a course.
Man, it's crazy. Jazz, rock music, all that, like jazz, hip hop, and stuff like that. Well, speaking of like like Tupac, like Kendrick Lamar with Two Paper Butterfly. But I went back and listened to that. I was listening to Damn and Two Paper Butterfly.
Yeah,
I'm like, man, like it's weird because it's just like it feels like those albums came out right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then, granted, Kendrick is still a new artist, but he's been around about 10 years now.
Yeah.
So like, I'm like, maybe this album came out yesterday, and like To Pimp a Butterfly in particular is basically like a jazz hop album.
Yeah. Yeah. Timeless music is what I call it.
Exactly, man. That's all. It's the answer. It's from slave songs to gospel to soul music. That's all this is, man. This is what and before that, when we're in our roots in Africa, all this type of stuff. Like this is who we are, or this is a part of us, I should say.
Yeah, man. Like I said, with jazz, man, I just knew like the basics of jazz, man. Now I done got deep into it. I know some jazz artists, like I knew like the old time jazz folks like that everybody know. Now I got some modern jazz folks, like some dudes that's doing it now. Like I done been on it, man. Then jazz and blues, and then like a lot of reggae too, man. I've been on the reggae kick as well. That's some. I don't. That's
a lot going, so you gotta,
Yeah, I don't smoke or nothing, but man, you listen to some reggae music, it feel like you're smoking, man. I don't know what's up with that, man. Reggae music puts a different vibe or something. That's some powerful music. Yeah, I think that's a slept-on genre too, reggae. Them dudes be saying some stuff in that reggae music.
But put me on to that, because the only thing I really know as far as artists of reggae is like Bob Marley, of course. Stuff like that. So put me on to that. I'll put you on to some jazz.
Right off the top, I'll tell you Black Uhuru.
Black Uhuru?
Yeah, Black Uhuru.
Okay.
And then it's an old one. They call it the Abyssinians. Like, man, just listen to the Abyssinians, boy. The message in that, whoo.
Okay.
This is like 1960 something that they came out, and the stuff is still relevant today. So the Abyssinians, I definitely recommend them, and Black Uhuru. Them some good reggae artists right there. So music, if we didn't, I could talk about music for like years, man, non-stop. We keep camera rolling. I could probably talk about music for years because that's what I did back in the day. I was a music guy. I'm making everybody, man. I was that dude, so I could talk about music. But it's like it was more so just like hip hop, R&B. So now I done branched off. I'm that much more lethal with the music game.
You're seeing the roots and like how hip hop, kind of became that, which is now the biggest music genre in the world, and that came from broke black people in the Bronx and in Brooklyn and everything like this. That just shows how powerful that we are with our language and everything that we do. That we literally can take nothing and turn into something to where people who don't even like us love our culture, which is it's messed up, but I'm just saying that shows how powerful that we are. People that can't probably wish that we were all dead. They love our culture though. That's crazy. Out of nothing, we made this out of nothing.
Sometimes they embrace it more than we do. For example, like just some of the political artists that I listen to, like Dead Prez, and I got cats like K Reno that I listen to. It's like they talk about when they go overseas, like to Europe and stuff like that, in those countries, how they sell out venues, going to like Europe, places where you would think that, according to their message, like these people wouldn't frequent these places, but they sell out there. Those are the people that relate to the message more. They're like, then when they come here, it's hard for them to like populate venues. So I'm like, man, that's crazy. So these dudes are out here making music relative to today's time, like giving you the message about the system and what it's doing to us. But we are the people that don't support that music. We'll go support something that ain't got nothing to do with anything that's going on, that's degrading us, matter of fact. So it's like, that's interesting to me. So they can go to like Europe, UK, all them little places and whatnot, and they can sell out venues of people that don't look like you and me. Yeah. And basically the music is talking about people that look like them in a bad way sometimes. But they out there them cats. That's crazy to me. Like I've literally seen a show like Dead Prez. I seen a show where it was all white folks in the crowd.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, Dad, that's interesting. But then they'll come here and I try to put people on the Dead Prez and stuff like that around me. And they like, man, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that preachy music. Like, it's I got everything.
I'll go ahead.
Yeah, I'm able to listen to everything, man. I could turn on some so-called gangster rap music and then I can go listen to my political music, man. So I'm like diverse what I can listen to. So it's like, man, that's crazy. They just write it off. I don't want to hear that. They preaching, they talking politics. Who, what, when?
If you saw my Spotify playlist, you'd be like, what the hell? From like Michael Jackson to we talking like Dead Prez or something like that, or just whoever. Like from rock and roll to jazz music and stuff like that. But real quick, I got two things to say about to comment what you were saying. There's a rapper, a female rapper named No Name. I don't know if you ever heard about her. Everybody go follow No Name on Twitter. Literally just NONAME, the whole just one thing. She be going in about capitalism and systematic racism and stuff on Twitter. But her music, when she does shows, it got to a point where she said that she's done doing like shows, that she might be done doing hip hop. She says a lot of times when she does her shows, it's nothing but white folks in the crowd. And it's not that she hates white people. She say, "Dang, I made this for my people." Like what you were just saying, nobody, because she does more kind of like poetic rap, I guess. I don't know what you call it, kind of like what's it called? Kind of word. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's kind of more like that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of us, we all we want to do. A lot of us, we want to turn up all the time. I don't know. I'm a fun guy. I'm silly. I like to have fun and turn up too. But it's like 24/7 though.
Man,
you know what I'm saying? But that's one thing I want to say. The second thing I want to say is last summer I actually went to Europe. And that you're saying, you were absolutely correct. All the music that I heard when I went to Germany, I went to the Netherlands, and I went to Belgium, right? All I heard was American hip hop. It was like reggae music and like Caribbean and like salsa music and techno. Because a lot of people don't know that techno was created by black people too.
Yeah,
there was a lot of Germans love techno. I don't know why. That's all. I heard a lot of techno, a lot of hip hop, and a lot of like I guess like Hispanic music or whatever like this. Like a lot of just North American melanated music over there, and it was mostly white people. And I saw it. I'm like, wow. I'm like, so y'all just don't listen to none of y'all's stuff.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's crazy. I peeped that. I was like, man, I'm seeing this like face to face, so nobody can tell me this ain't true. I'm saw this like firsthand. You
yeah.
know, like I remember the hostel that I was staying at. One night the hostel host at the place I was at, he was playing a title the Creator. This was last year when his last album came out, and I was downstairs in the hostel, and he was in the next floor was where he was at. I could kind of hear the like the beat, but I couldn't hear who was rapping. I'm like, man, this sounds familiar because that album had just came out, so I only had heard it once, so I didn't know I wasn't that familiar with the album yet. I mean, this sounds like something that Tyler the Creator would make. But I'm like, who hears about some Tyler the Creator? So I started listening really hard to listen to Tyler the Creator's voice because he got a very distinct
Yeah,
voice.
yeah,
I'm like, yo, that is him. So the host came downstairs like, yo, who mentioned Tyler the Creator? I'm like, oh, that was me. And he was like, oh man, it's so nice to see or to meet somebody who knows, because he's talking about how a lot of people in his country like hip hop, but they don't really know the artists like that because they're American, so they don't really pay attention. He's like,
right.
oh yeah, I love Tyler the Creator. I'm like, man, what you know about? I'm like, I'm like, like, yeah, man. So you're absolutely right. That's funny that you mentioned that because I've seen this face
Yeah,
to face, you
yeah,
know, and that's something else too that black people get your passports too,
yeah,
for real.
yeah.
You know,
Most
I was
definitely.
supposed to be actually in Ghana this year, but you know, Rona happened, so
Dog.
I'm supposed to go there. I don't want to say for I don't want to tell everything all my business, but yeah, I was supposed to be out there, man. You know, so but
Yeah,
yeah, man, get your passports. It don't cost that much. It's like 100. I think it was like 120, $130. Like I got mine about 2 years ago, so I don't remember the exact price when I got mine a couple years ago. But it's like it's under 150.
yeah.
So that next time them Nikes come out, back to them shoes. The next time the Nikes come out, instead of spending that $200 on them shoes, get you a passport. When this Corona crap is over or whatever, man, I'm seriously travel, please.
Yeah.
Black men and women, like I'm dead serious. Like it will, and yeah, it will really open your mind to a lot of stuff, man. This world is not that big. It
Oh
really
yeah,
isn't.
man. I already know. Like I done been invited from my Jamaican brother. I've been invited to
Yeah,
Jamaica and Nigeria. So those are some places I
yeah,
got to get to. Like I done been
yes,
invited. And like I was even saying, just to piggyback kind of off of what you were saying when you went to Europe. Like I said,
yeah.
when I was rapping back in the day, when I was in college, I had did like a political freestyle. And I mean, I was
Okay,
going at the system hard. And that video kind of went viral. That was back when YouTube was in its infancy. I don't want to expose my age here, but that's back when YouTube was in it when it was in its infancy. So most of the people, like on Facebook, when I posted it, most of the people that was contacting me, they was from like the UK, like
mm.
giving me props about the freestyle. I mean, most of the love that I was getting was from people from the UK.
Wait, black people from UK or
No,
oh wow,
no. Yeah, I mean, the song I made about the United States system, like the US system, what we were currently dealing with it like 2010, 2011.
yeah,
UK people was like, man, that's you on point. Woo, give me
mm.
all the credit. I got more love from them than like people that was right around me. And I was like,
Man,
man, I'm making the music to wake y'all up because it's happening to us here.
right, yeah,
They would, I'm telling, I was getting a bunch of UK love. Like that's one thing. If I would have pursued music, my fan base I probably would have to move to the UK. They were loving it. They were loving what I was doing, like with the message. Because of course, when I
for
first
that Dipset, huh? No,
yeah, it was it was crazy. Like when I first started rapping out, of course, it was like a bunch of ignorant rap. But then the more I started learning, like that's when I incorporated that message in the music. The moment I started doing that, I started getting a lot of like overseas love and like out of the country love, and most of it was UK. I had got some South African love as well too, and it was the white folks.
well, because you know why? Because they're actually British.
Yes,
That's why.
yep, and that's when I made that connection. Because I was reading at that time was interesting about it because I was reading a book by Steve Biko, and he was
Okay,
dealing with South Africa and things of that nature. So I was like, okay, so now this makes sense when it was talking about how they was institutionalized South Africa and things of that nature. So I was like, okay, so I had South African love and I had UK love, musically speaking. So if I would have pursued a music career, I would have been big over there.
mm.
Not so much here. I would have been like very underground here, but there I probably would have been mainstream.
Mm.
Which was like, that's interesting to me, but I understand why it happens here because I understand what we have been through and how we've been programmed. So
Psychology.
I understand it. I don't expect for everybody to be bumping Dead Prez around here. Like I don't expect that. no time soon. It may happen in the future, but I don't expect that to be the popular music of choice. Because like you said, we want to turn up, we want to dance and things of that nature. We don't really want to listen to the music and think for the most part. So I get it.
But let's see. Okay, we got a few minutes left. So if you want, the last thing I kind of had in the list was just us maybe plugging some black-owned businesses or whatever like this. If you have anybody, I really just had one that I wanted to plug. But if you had anything that you want to shout out or plug or whatever, or shout yourself or your wife or whoever, last couple of minutes.
Oh yeah, definitely. If you haven't, you probably already, people that's in here probably already subscribed to my wife's channel. So go ahead, find her channel, like and subscribe to that joint. Hit that notification bell for her channel because we trying to make things happen. And like I said,
dope discussions.
Oh yeah, that dope discussions. It be going in there. Like, yeah, some great discussions be going on. But on top of that too, so just kind of like with my gym, what I'm doing there, I want to plug my own self real quick, just to let people know, because a lot of people have been reaching out. They want to make donations and they want to try to, kind of help me get the funding for the equipment. So it's like two things I'm doing there for the most part. Like I said, I got somebody working on the logo. So I'm going to have some shirts and some blender bottles up for sale. So if you want to just make donations or purchase like a shirt or blender bottle, go ahead and do that. That'll probably be about next week when I have everything available there. And then like people just been asking for my Cash App. So that Cash App is $EricBell7. So if you want to just Cash App donations, that's cool. And I'm trying to think, man, off the top of my head, I can't think of any other businesses right now that I want to like shout out. I had to go find them.
It's cool. I mean, probably, if you find them later, you can always just put them in the description and stuff too.
Yeah, probably when you say so, I probably think of some stuff.
Cool. I just had one. It's my big brother's. It's mainly his website that he runs, but I guess it's our website, but it's mainly he started it, so I'm gonna say it's his. It's called bcactionmr.com. Basically, if you're into like superhero movies like Marvel or just any of those type of movies, like I was saying earlier, I'm a fun guy. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I like to kick it and shoot the shit sometimes, and watch a good flick. But you got to do things. It's a time and a place for things. So like I love watching the Avengers, all that kind of stuff. So if you want to stay up to date on those kind of movies or like independent films that they review and write for a lot of like independent films, things like this. So if you want to stay up to date on just like what movies are coming out, it's not a site to watch full movies per se. They do have some independent stuff on there, but if you want to stay up to date on those kinds of movies, if you're into like kung fu movies or like anything like that, bcactionmr.com. If you want, put that you put that in your description, whatever. Like, this is a black owned website, mainly black ran website. So I just want to plug my brother, my older brother, for that. So that's all I have.
Okay, and then I just thought about one. There's a person that grew up like a house down for me, so we've been knowing each other since we were pretty much a little. He's starting to branch off and do his own thing. Like, he's like a motivational speaker type deal. So he's creating like his clothing brand. It's called Gems by Ju. So definitely support the movement. Real positive.
Oh, I thought somebody else too. Okay, no, go ahead though.
Yeah, see how we be thinking. All right.
Yeah, you said clothing brand. I was like, damn, wait a minute. Like, what was I thinking?
Yeah, most definitely. But Gems by Ju, man, it's a good brother, positive brother. He promotes like fatherhood to the extreme, man. One of the best fathers I've seen, just kind of like online, man. He be taking care of his daughters. Like, that's a prime example of like fatherhood. If you're looking for somebody to just look up to in that regards, man, that dude taking care of his family the way that you need to be doing it as a black man out here. So his name is like Julian Pearson on Facebook. So definitely find his Facebook page, add him as a friend, and then he probably had some shirts up, I think, in about a week or two he was talking about. So it's JulianPearson, Julian Pearson. Find him on Facebook, man. Definitely support his movement. Real positive brother. We gotta support that positivity out here, man.
Yeah, absolutely. But one more. One of my homeboys from back in my hometown, Ronaldo. He's got his own clothing line called Foreign Gents. Just kind of look it up, because I believe he has a website. I haven't talked to him about it in a while, so I don't want to be like, oh, it's just type .com. But just go on Google, type in Foreign Gents. The logo, it's got like kind of like a squirrel on it. It says like Foreign Gents. It's like white. There's like a kind of white cursive logo. If I can find like a site or whatever like that, I'll send that to you. But yeah, just Google Foreign Gents. It's got a lot of different T-shirts and whatever like that. Check that out. Robert Perkins. I'm actually wearing one of the shirts right now. Shrug Life. You can see that's Robert Perkins
Okay.
shirt right there. So Robert Perkins, you can look him up. He's got his own clothing line. My boy Ronaldo, foreign gents, and then my older brother, his website for movie reviews, bcactionmr.com. So those three brothers right there. I'll send you the links and whatnot after we get done. But yeah, we're at 115. That was
Yeah.
perfect. So
Matter of fact, and then
that's
just real
crazy.
quick, I want to shout out the my high school homegirl that be doing like my designs and stuff. That's a business. How can I forget her? Her name is Mariah Evans. So like any
Okay.
design that you see me like sporting, she has done it. She do
Hey,
some real good work.
give me her links I can put into my thread. I'm gonna send the link to my Facebook thread with all of the black women's businesses that I have in
Yeah,
all the different black women's websites. Send me that so we can put that in there too. So shout out. I can't name everybody. So it's like 100 different
yeah,
links in there now, but I'm gonna just say shout out to black women.
yeah,
Period. Because I love y'all. So yeah, I got a whole bunch of different websites from black women's own businesses, from my clothing to food, jewelry. I said this earlier, but I want to just say that again. So yeah, we can plug that and everybody else in the description. Check it out. Buy something. If you can't afford it, I get it. We're in crazy times right now. But
yeah.
if you can't spend any money right now, share it.
Got
So click those links, share it, spend some money, support black owned businesses.
yeah, most
That's
definitely.
my last thought.
That's the move now. That's the move. Got to support one another, man. It's just that simple. That's my closing thought. It's time to support each other. It's time that 1.2 trillion. It's time to circulate that amongst each other. Period.
For more than a day and a half.
Yep.
Yeah.
As long as we can. So it's just that simple. That was my close. That's my closing sentiments. And also go plant based, like I said.
All right.
All right, bro, man. This was good, man. We'll probably have to do this
Yeah.
another time too, man.
Yeah. This was actually really good. I appreciate this. Yeah.
Yeah, like the energy. And then there's some other people that said they wanted to get into it. So we probably can do one. And like I know a brother I had up here that wanted to get into it. So we could have more people on it. Just, to
Just
diversify.
vibing and bouncing.
Yeah. So we definitely do something, get more people involved if that's cool with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
That's what it's all about, man. So yeah.
Okay. So yeah, most definitely. We're gonna discuss that. That'll work. Yeah, this might be the start of something, man. You never know.
Yeah. I said that's actually not another podcast that I've been doing. Let me make sure I get the right name. Let me look it up real quick. A couple brothers that I've been doing a couple podcasts with. They're called Everyday Heroes with a Z. And we've been talking about everything's been going on with police brutality, stuff like that too. So you can plug them too as well. Maybe I can try to talk to them and see if those two guys want to get on to something together as well too. So we'll chop it up and everything like that.
Oh yeah, most
So
definitely.
we'll see.
Most definitely. And like I said, man, I'm gonna shoot you kind of just some important times for like what I'm doing with the gym, just in case you want to shoot down this way.
For sure, man. It's getting warmer outside, so people, even though we're in a pandemic, we're two pandemics, racism and this Rona, but depending on how this Rona crap and that goes on, absolutely, I'll make that drive. It's only 4 hours for me. Ain't that big of a deal no more. Going back and forth, from home. I haven't been back home in a minute, but that's about how far of a drive I got to do for that. So I don't got an excuse to not come down
Yeah,
that way. So.
because I'm gonna be hosting like speaking engagements at my gym as well. So I definitely
Okay.
have you out for that when I kind of figure out how I want to do the speaking engagement. But that's gonna happen soon. I'm gonna definitely have a speaking engagement there because, like I said, we gotta do things covertly. So want to get people together, get them in this venue, and want to talk about solutions as well. So that's definitely gonna happen. I'll keep you updated on that though.
Sure.
Yeah, that'll be behind the scenes. I don't want to reveal those plans kind of like
Right.
on camera. They're probably.
Oh, believe me, there's things I got in my head that I didn't. As much as I love to talk, people probably think I talk about everything.
Yeah.
Believe me, if y'all could read my mind, y'all will go insane. Trust me. Like
Yeah.
my mind does not shut off. So there's plenty of stuff that I'm thinking in like the next 5 years, 10 years that I'm just kind of just not saying nothing right this second.
Yeah. People was inside my mind, they'd jump right out of it.
Hey.
Like, hold on, man. It's too much going on in this dude's mind. I'm good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
right there with you.
Man, it was good chatting with you, brother.
Absolutely, man.
All right,
All
man.
right.
Peace, man.
Peace.
Yep.